Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about SPAQ, Spartan Energy Acquisition Corp. If you would like to at any point watch the previous DD, you'll find it in the description below. I'm going to go through technical analysis, news, and what I think about this company. For technical indicators, you'll find a playlist in the description that explains each of them and what they mean. Now let's jump right into it. So on the 1 week perspective, what we get to see here is something quite interesting. We get to see that the MACD looks like it's actually curving back down, but it has done that quite a few times. On the William percent R, it looks like it's actually very much closer to the oversold part, and momentum seems to be struggling a little here at this point. Unbalanced volume looks like it's actually receding, but the moving averages on the 1 week perspective looks increasing, all bullish. All go. The stock price is above the trading action zone, so if it does dip all the way down to say 1234, then it has a chance for reversal into the trading action zone. Now, taking a quick look into a 1 day perspective, as we would like to see a little bit into perhaps the movement for the next week or the next few days. What we get to see here is on the MACD, a negative reversal has been hit on the 23rd of September, where it dipped quite a little, right through the trading action zone where the 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, and then right now it's sitting just on the 50 SMA, just below it. So that is a dangerous sign. The stock is below the trading action zone where reversals are likely. It's below the moving average, so it does look bullish on 10 SMAs above 30 EMA and 200 above 200 SMA, but it's bearish on the purple line here. On the 80X, what it does show here is that there was a trend higher up 50s and it receded back, as that's where reversals are likely, up higher on there. William percent R looks like it's actually sitting in neutral at the moment. Still close to oversold part, and momentum looks like it's actually been lost a little, with a little bit of negative momentum, which looks somewhat bearish here, especially with the MACD going down and volumes receding. So it looks bearish in a 1 day perspective, but I have good news, so stay around. Now, just for the 1 hour perspective, if we were to look into the next few hours, what we get to see here is that it's attempting to go through a bullish run, but we see a death star here on the 24th of September that just killed the stock action and dropped down to 1252. Now, we might actually still see spikes here and there on a 1 hour perspective, especially since the moving average is the 10 SMA seems to be climbing above the 30 EMA, which looks bullish in that sense. If we were to look into the moving averages, what we get to see here is on the moving average, great unbalanced volume that actually receded back down to 47 million. It's still trading on the bottom bottom half of the bands, of the moving average band. Moving average band is expected to trade on the bottom around 1335, in the middle at 1482, and on the top around 1640. Now we can take a look into charts, and what we get to see here, this is the exact same channel I drew last time, when I believe it was somewhere around here, and I did mention that it has potential to meeting the top of the channel. It did meet the top of the channel and then fell right through towards the bottom side. Now, technically, it has broken that channel just a little, but I've been a little bit less stringent about it just because it also did break the top part. But it looks like it's actually attempting to go back into the channel. If it does, and it doesn't break down the 1313 mark of the channel, then it has potential to at least to see the middle of the channel as it's seen before. Now, what we could also argue is that there is another channel here into the list, which would go somewhere around this area here. So that is as well a potential where you can get to see it go at least to around the 1450s. So it looks bullish on a channel view, since it looks like it might attempt that. Now, if we were to looking on the Fibonacci retracement supports and resistances, what we get to see here is that we have a support at 1292, which is very strong on the Fibonacci retracement, and the resistance on the 1458. Now, we can take a look into supports and resistances, and we get to see a support happening at 1375. Resistance at 1387. That's a very strong one here. And then 1409, and a very significant one at the 1413/1422 mark. If we were to look at supports, we get to see that there is some significant supports here, especially the 1356 that's been tested a few times before. And then below that, another significant one at the 1356 that's been tested as well a few times before. And the 1352 is as well beside 1356. And then the 1327. Then we're looking at the $13 mark. 1282. 1253. and then we get to see the 12.21 mark. Now let's take a quick look into news and what's coming up for the stock. So taking a quick look into news, what we get to see here is decrease in terms of shares for Linden Advisors on the 14th. That's not new for my last TD, I believe, but nothing significant comes in after that. We also get to see in terms of the acquisition of the merger. Now this is a reverse merger, and one thing to really consider in mind that I've thought about is the proposal number 1, which you're increasing around 200 million shares to 750 million shares, and around 1 million shares of preferred stocks to 15 million shares of Class B. Class B is 20 million to 150 million. You get to see preferred shares is 1 million to 50 million. Quite a large number of shares being issued on here, so that is quite significant for the stock dilution factor. Of course, if you would like to follow Henrik Fisker, he does give SPAQs updates, and make sure to follow me as well in terms of my profile. Let's jump as well to what I think about the stock. Now, yes, it is going through that channel, looks like a nice channel, looks like it's actually seeing potential reversal here. Some people have been mentioning that it looks like a cup with a handle. Now, this is a little bit more than a handle, but we might actually see a bit of a bounce here. How high the bounce, that's a little bit hard to tell. For you to look into the 1 hour perspective, for instance, to see what happened in the extended market, we see it's actually dipped right back a little to almost half what it has gained, almost all day gain. So it looks like a doji star when it comes in towards a 1 hour perspective of the day. Would I consider buying it? Definitely around the around the $13 mark. But here is my concern, and before doing so, we get to look into the stochastic fast and slow. We get to see it's actually curving a little bit down onto the fast, but on the slow it's still reaching there, so it might take a little bit of time to bottom out. But my concern is the delivery date is still in the future. I think it's 2 years from now or something. They basically only have reserves for around a ridiculous price point. And so whether they actually deliver on those promises, that's something yet to see, right? We're basically holding our faith towards something that hasn't been very much proven at this point. So you're more of investing onto the idea rather than the performance. So I don't like that part of sense. And here's what my experience with stocks that have gone through reverse merger before through SPACs occurred. Right before the merger, which is expected to happen around the 4th quarter, you're probably going to see a dip in loss of interest. After the merger happens, you're probably going to see a little bit of a spike, at least at the start, and then it's going to trade more sideways until it sees more performance price points. That is my view on it. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.